lrushmo at eibnet.com. House Democrats tried today to force a vote on the Senate's 2-month extension of payroll tax cut, but Republicans gavelled. The House closed to prevent them from having a chance as top Republican leaders huddled down the hall to try to figure a way out of the mess. The House was set to hold a pro forma session, but two top Democrats, Representatives Steny Hoyer and Chris Van Hollen, demanded to be recognized to try to force a vote on the 2-month extension that Republicans have blocked, which is strongly backed by Obama, and they're holding out for an extension that covers all of 2012. Remember, folks, how Obama and the news media fought a temporary deal during the debt ceiling debate. He said the markets needed confidence. We can't do this temporary stuff. He said we can't keep doing these continuing resolutions and these temporary debt ceiling increases. We got to do the whole thing here. Now all of a sudden we get temporary, and we do a 2-month fix that cannot even be implemented. The House Republicans, the freshmen, the Tea Party conservatives, the other conservatives in the House are holding firm on this on principle. Even some in the media are saying the House Republicans are acting on principle, not politics. Everybody else is looking at this through the optics. And as I mentioned in the first hour, the Wall Street Journal has an editorial that just excoriates the Republicans in the House and essentially accuses them of losing the tax issue to Obama and guaranteeing that Obama is going to end up being the king tax cutter in an election year. I'm telling you, and with all due respect, the people at the Journal who wrote the editorial, the House Democrats, the Senate Democrats, Republicans are all dead wrong on this at every policy and political level that I can think of. If the Republicans want this tax cut extended, then they ought to fight to actually extend it for a year. 2 months doesn't do anything. Well, there's some conventional wisdom in the establishment circles. Oh, yeah, 2 months, Rush, that'd be good, because then you come back and get to debate Obama on it all over again. Well, how's the debate going to change? You still say Obama's going to be leading the charge for more tax cuts, and what are we going to do? Then agree with him after? This is the time to plant the flag. If they want to stop it, Wall Street Journal, Republicans, if they want to stop this, explain what's really going on here. Explain that this isn't a tax cut. Since when did Social Security taxes, when were they actually called tax increases or tax? These are contributions. These are actual deductions from your pay that end up coming back to you. This is how it's always been sold. In your retirement years, in your golden years. Theoretically, it's your money. All we're doing is defunding the only mechanism that funds Social Security. They want to stop this. Then just explain that this is draining money from Social Security without any of the necessary reforms. Throw it right back on Obama and what he's doing here. The worst possible position is the one supported by the Senate, Obama, and the Wall Street Journal. And what's really going on here, folks, and don't doubt me, including on behalf of the Wall Street Journal, is just angry at conservatives. They're angry at the Tea Party conservatives, the Tea Party freshmen. They're angry at conservative freshmen and conservative members of the House. And they're simply trying to reject it. Now, if you believe, and I mentioned this in the opening hour, if you believe that our beloved country is collapsing due to government, why continue with these games? Why continue with such things as 2-month expansions of the debt limit? Continuing resolution after continuing resolution instead of a budget. A 2-month extension of a so-called payroll tax cut. These are games. This is style over substance. If we are to stop this, if we are to reverse this, if we are to get anywhere, we need to start now. Make our case. We need to begin to reverse course. We can't be so timid and scared and gutless that we jump every time Obama says jump. Now, here's the problem. These people on the establishment side of the Republican Party are going to have to resolve for themselves their position at the nation is in dire straits with their policies of timidity and fear. Now, I'm guessing they don't think the nation's in dire straits. If they agreed with us that the nation's in dire straits, then they wouldn't be playing these political games. Unless they do agree with us, but they think we have to play the political game in order to win the election and beat Obama. You can do both. But this isn't even a big issue. This is what gets me. It really isn't a big issue. We're talking about whether to extend a payroll cut 1 year or 2 months. Nobody believes that 2 months makes sense in any substantive way. Meanwhile, while all of this is going on, the pipeline issue is huge. How about a standalone pipeline bill, Republicans? How about delinking the pipeline from this? Well, they tried that, Rush, and actually think more political pressure can be applied to Obama. Well, no, because the Republican establishment is undermining the coupling of the pipeline with the two-month payroll tax cut. But the pipeline issue is huge. The Iranians are threatening to cut off access to Middle East oil, the Strait of Hormuz. And that wouldn't take much. Leon Panetta, the Secretary of Defense, says that Iran getting nukes is a red line for us, meaning possible war. He's saying that. I know Obama's not saying it, but his Secretary of Defense is. And yet, Obama and the Democrats are blocking a source of oil from an ally and are blocking the exploration and the use of natural gas, and on and on. Obama and his party are doing everything they can to keep this nation imprisoned in the dependence on foreign oil, while claiming that they want to do just the opposite. The Prime Minister of Canada is telling us, if you won't buy our oil, fine, we are going to sell it to the Chicoms, and we'll sell it to the Chicoms happily. I have a story in the stack, somewhere in this stack, that a senior American official or two confided to Stephen Harper, the Canadian head honcho. Don't worry, we're going to buy your oil. They're not named, and the conditions under which we would buy the oil are not specified. But clearly, the message, if the reporting is true, the message is that we're whispering, psst, psst, winking, hey, Mr. Harper, look, we got to play our political game here, but when it's all said and done, we're going to be buying your oil. We just can't do that now. We can't. Obama needs to hold out here. He's got to placate his environmental base. But we're going to buy your oil. Just stick with it. That's the message that we are under the table giving